Hi everyone! So today I have a very special video. It's a special time for me. This past week was my Stitchaversary. So I don't know exactly down to the date when I started stitching. I have mentioned I stitched in high school. I did like maybe 3 or 4 projects and then I just stopped because, you know, graduation and university and life. So I started stitching last year around the second week of February. I know my first finish, or one of my very first finishes, was a little game 8-bit heart that I did for my husband, which I did actually make on Valentine's Day. So today is this Valentine's Day, by the way, 2016. Happy Valentine's Day if you celebrate or like to celebrate. If not, happy Sunday. So I thought I'd do something a little bit fun. A while back, I was at my local AC Moore, and I just needed like 16 count Aida. Maybe decided to, hey, if I see a cool floss that I don't have, because AC Moore, at least my AC Moore, has quite a good selection of floss, not just the regular DMC, but some variegateds and stuff like that. And I saw something on clearance, and it was a total impulse buy, and I've been hanging on to it closed because I knew I wanted to do this video at some point, and what perfect time but my Stitchaversary to do this. So this is normally like $30 something. I found it on clearance for $8. And what is it? Stitchaversary. Isn't that just awesome? Let me preface this by saying I suck at Monopoly. Completely. I'm horrible. I just don't understand it, and I've never played it enough to figure it out. So, by the way, sorry light is weird. There's like sunlight, and I have a plant by my window, so it's streaming in all weird. But that's okay, because this is about unboxing this with you. I actually have not opened this. Again, I don't really play it. It was an impulse buy. I thought it'd be a whole bit of fun. I might play it once or twice with my husband, but I mean, it's just cool. Like, I know that there's a lot of Monopoly versions out there, and I considered some of them. I'm like, ooh, maybe I'll get the Doctor Who one, but Monopoly and all its versions is usually a little expensive for a board game, but I just had to get this. So I'm going to show you the box. We're going to open it together. I thought it'd be a good bit of fun. So again, this is what the front looks like. I love how the letters, oh, by the way, this is a collaboration with DMC. So a lot of this stuff is based on DMC products. But yeah, so the letters themselves are like different stitches, and I'm trying to keep this in focus because I'm actually blocking my face here, but you can see like how there's crosses there for the S, and then some specialty stitches in some of the center letters, and then here's like needle point, some straight stitches or back stitches. It could be either. So basically it's different types of stitches and embroidery, not just cross stitch, but that's okay. It says a board game that will keep you in stitches, which of course is adorable. And then in the back, I did get a little preview of the board when I first bought this, but I haven't looked at this in a really long time, and I'm not going to read through it now. I'm going to open it and read it with you, but I will read this this for you, and it just kind of gives you a little blurb, I guess you could say. Anyway, so it says, a board game that will keep you in stitches. Stitchopoly is a new board game that lets Stitchers share their love of needlework with their family and friends and have fun doing so. You'll collect needlework techniques and become an expert stitcher by buying and trading off different needlework stitches, basic, expert, embroidery, and needlepoint. Then build your own needlework studios, convert them into shops, and run your own needlework business. Just make sure you don't pick the "your stitching is not centered" game card, or you'll have to go directly to pull out thread without passing start stitching and collect 200. Oh my god. That's awesome. Pull out thread. This is great. I haven't read this, guys. I was really holding off to do this video. And remember to be careful, because if you lose your needle, you'll also lose a turn. This is great. Like, they really captured, I think. Anyway, let's keep going. Have fun with your family and friends, and you have to select someone who you think ruined your when you have to select someone who you think ruined your needlework scissors when they borrowed them to scrapbook, the one you pick will have to pay you to replace them. Stitchopoly is guaranteed to have you and your friends in stitches. So choose your favorite needlework token and start stitching today. Standard play or shorter version for 2 to 6 players. I didn't know there was a shorter version. Maybe that's what I need to play. Because, you know, like, you always think Monopoly, and you hear of, like, people playing till, like, 3 in the morning and just eventually just flipping the board because you're so upset. So I'll pull these out individually, but it looks like you get a bobbin, a little, like, hoop holding fabric, the DMC, like, thread cutter, scissors, a skein of floss, and then the round pearl cotton as your pieces. So let's actually open this up, okay? So I have taken the plastic off just so I didn't have to crinkle anything, but box is open. Oh, excuse me. Just pulling over something to lay down things on. All right, we've got the instructions, which I'm not really gonna bother to read. Though I'd be interested, I don't see anything here about the short. Oh, here, short. The game begins with the banker shuffling the deed cards and dealing each player 4 property deeds. Each player pays the bank half the purchase price of each deed card they are dealt. The game then proceeds as previously outlined for a period of time predetermined at the start of the game by the players. At the end of the agreed time, all players add up the value of their cash and property, mortgage property at the half value stated on board, Needlework Studios value at their purchase price, and Needlework Shops valued at their purchase price plus the value of Needlework Studios turned into purchase each shop. The richest player wins. That's interesting. I'm sorry, I've got like hiccupy time. That's interesting. So it does take away some of the strategy because it's randomized, but it's a good way to get you started, like if you really don't know what you're doing, like me. Yeah, anyway. So that's the instructions. So let's pull out the board. And again, you know what? I'll be right back. Let me see if at least shifting the blinds will help a little bit. Hey everyone, I'm back. Yeah, so I think that helped a little bit. I still have some light coming through this part of the window on this side, but it looks a little bit better overall. Again, my lighting's not perfect, but who cares, right? Which, by the way, I totally didn't mention this in the beginning, but look! I'm not up in your face. I think I figured out how to do this, guys. I figured out how to be in the frame. I mean, I know sometimes I'll go in and out when I'm showing you stuff, but I'm not like a floating head anymore. I don't know why it took me so long to figure that out. Anyway, so here is very nicely organized, by the way. The board came like this, and this is it underneath. So I really like that. All right. So here's the board. Isn't that cool? By the way, Pam Reed is stitching a Monopoly board. Wouldn't this be something? I don't know, maybe I'll do that. I don't think I'd stitch a Monopoly board because it's just not something I'm really that much into. But, yeah, this would be kind of fun. Probably like get a piece of fabric and dye it lavender. You wouldn't get the sort of fading towards the middle unless you do something mottled, but I don't know. We'll see if I ever decide to do that. I have so much I want to stitch anyway. But I guess I'll do a quick show of everything and then I'll go in detail and read everything in case you just kind of want to get an idea for what it is. So I'll show you a preview. And then I'll go and read everything and talk about everything and all that stuff, just because maybe you don't want a super detailed review, but I just want to have fun with this video. So here's the middle again, Stitchopoly, same letters as in the front of the box. We've got Needlework Stash, and we've got Go Shopping. So these are like the chance and I forget. Like I said, I don't play Monopoly, but I know there's like a chance and like another one where so that would be instead of that. So start stitching instead of go. Collect 200, and then I'll just run through and show you. I'll kind of go slowly. and then I'll stop and read. And I think I'm going in the right direction, but if I don't, no biggie. And I know you might not be able to read that, but just so you get the general idea. So that's the board. Alright, so after start stitching, you have running stitch quarters, then straight stitch shack, needlework stash, class fee, basic stitching, back stitch cabin, go shopping, half stitch cottage, cross stitch plantation, then instead of go to jail, pull out thread or keep stitching, trellis vineyards, I've never even heard of that stitch, French knot cottage, fabric and hoop is one of your items you can purchase, colonial knot veranda, advanced stitching, buttonhole bay, never heard of that one either. Needlework stash, again, Velvet Cove, Rhodes Diamond Beach, idle hands, I forget what that one is on Monopoly. Split stitch, oh by the way, the first properties are a pearl cotton in a light blue, then you've got a pearl cotton in a dark blue, then you've got a regular DMC in pink. It doesn't have the numbers, but a pink DMC, regular 6-strand floss, a 6-strand floss, red DMC. Then the purple properties are, it looks like a light purple and a dark purple, and these look like the light effects. And then the last, the more expensive, are your variegated, a lighter green variegated and then a darker green variegated. So after idle hands, you have split stitch falls, go shopping, blanket stitch brook, lazy daisy river, embroidery, chain terrace, satin stitch gardens, needle and thread, price $175, stem stitch lodge, and then go to pull out thread instead of go to jail. Oh, I'm sorry. That the light, the pearl cotton was the more expensive. It actually starts on the pink. So I'm going to go ahead and show you through the cards so you can see them a little bit better. But that just gives you an idea of what it is. So that's, I messed up. The beginning's actually the regular, not the pearl cotton, but the DMC 6-stranded floss. So that's the board again. That's quite a bit of fun. This would be something interesting to play on like a hangout if you do that. I'm like terrible at that kind of stuff. But hey, so that's the board. Go ahead and show you the properties. You've got the lovely lime green houses, which I believe are just the needlework shops. And then a lovely purple hotels, which I believe are the needlework studios. The money is pretty simple. They're all pretty much the same, so I'll just show you the one here. It's got a pearl cotton in the middle, and it looks like they all have that. And there's a needle and thread on the corner there. But it looks like we've got white, blue, pink money, and then yellow, green, goldenrod, and white. So I'm not going to open those. I'm going to go ahead and show you the pieces though, which maybe they could use a little bit of a polish or something. They look really shiny on the package, but they actually look kind of not that nice. That's kind of a bummer. I don't know. Anyway, look at that. That looks, I don't like that. Look how nice they look on the back. I don't want to spill. You can kind of see it there. Hold on. Look at that. You can see they look kind of nice and shiny on the bottom of the box there in the preview. But I'll show you the shapes. Maybe I can see if I can like, I don't know. That's a bummer. But you've got your floss bobbin. You've got a hoop on a stand. So that's what it looks like vertically, but it's a hoop on the stand holding fabric and the person's stitching DMC onto it. Then you've got this DMC thread like cutter So these grooves are sharp, semi-sharp, so if you run your thread through, you can snip it. You've got a skein of floss, and it's on a little stand just because you could totally lose that. Then you've got your pearl cotton, like round, I don't even know what this is called, but you know how pearl cotton can come in this like kind of round ball. And your scissors. So cute pieces, but the finishing is terrible on them. I mean, I know I got mine on clearance, but I'm assuming that, you know, it was a full price at some point. So I don't know if it just was sitting too long in the store and it got gross, or if this was like a returned item. It can't be though, because the money is nice and sealed. I don't know. That's a bit of a bummer that they're so not nice. I don't know. Not very nicely finished. So I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the needlework stash and go shopping cards, and then the properties. So this is the part that's why I kind of just read them out loud and described them a bit and kind of showed the run through of the board. But if you want to hear them and see them in more detail, because that's all a bit of fun, then stick around. If not, I totally understand if you want to tune out, because this might take a little bit. So not super crinkly, but sorry for some of the crinkle here. Alright, so let's separate the go shopping and the needlework stash. Okay, so here's what the needlework stash cards look like on the front. You know, they're a little bit glossy, so hopefully you can see that. And I think my camera automatically flips writing, so I'm not going to worry about, I know it's backwards right now, but I get the feeling that it's totally flipped when I go upload the video, so that's real nice. And then this is what the go shopping cards look like, and I like the fact that it's cross stitches around it. Let me show you that. See how it's cross stitches around it? Same thing for the go shopping, it's cross stitches, so that's really neat. But yeah, so it's just a girl, probably like we do, jumping for joy with her lovely bags of stash. So I guess let's go through the go shopping since they're in my card, in my hand. You have your annual stitching club membership is due, pay $50. I'll just show you one because they all pretty much, well, they don't look the same, so I'll just show them real quick. You've got the neighborhood kids tied each other up with your tapestry wool, pay $40 to replace it. So these must be like the chance that go shopping, because some of it are good reasons, some of them are bad. It's your turn to bring refreshments to the Stitchers Club meeting. Pay $50 to the banker. Your neighbor's cat found its way to your needlework basket. Sometimes it's our own cats. I have dogs, and I think they've maybe gone into my floss twice. Except for that, oh my god, that horrible first experience I had where they messed up my first project that I like pretty much cried over, and my husband was really, you know, he was the one who found, and he was like when he came in, I'm like, oh my god, what happened? And anyway, that was bad. So they've messed up a project, but they won't, like floss, they've only messed up once or twice, and it was salvageable. Anyway, we know that cats, pets in general, finding its way to our baskets or stuff. Paid $25 to replace the tangled thread. Thankfully, I just had a little bit to cut off, but that time thankfully it was like a $6 project from Walmart. So I just went and bought another one, but ugh. You won the Stitcher of the Year award. Collect $75. Interesting. We've got the player to your left spilled refreshment on your project. Oh my god. Collect $50 from them to have it cleaned. Sorry, again, itchy nose tends to happen. That's horrible. Can you imagine? I don't think I've ever spilled anything on my own project. I got a little bit, I think I had like something on my hands, and I've gotten like a dark spot on a project, but it was stitched over, so no big deal. I've never really like full on spilled anything, thank goodness. Advance to Trellis Vineyards. Select one player to give you $100 to cover your wine tasting tab. I think there's one very similar to this in regular Monopoly where you go to a property that's really close to go again. I think. Your Needlework Studios have been keeping customers in stitches for 5 years. Happy anniversary. Collect $25 for each you own. So I think those are the purple pieces. Celebrate the grand opening of your newest Needlework store. Collect $25 from each player. Those are the houses. So the houses are stores, and then the hotels are like studios. You ran out of embroidery floss. Go to idle hands. Do not pass start stitching. Do not collect 200. That's a bummer. I think only once or twice I've run out of a color and had to, I mean, I have other stuff to work on, so I just moved on, but I've never, had to stop stitching. I have a lot to work with, but I have run out of a color I've needed in the past. Your stitching is not centered. Go to pull out thread. Do not pass start stitching. Do not collect $200. That's definitely a bummer. Not just if it's not centered, but if you've miscounted. Oh, goodness. Oh! Speak of the devil. You miscounted. Advance to pull out thread. Do not pass stitching. Do not collect 200. Obviously, these are not shuffled because similar types of cards are all together. Get out of pull out of thread free. Fantastic. And last but not least, for the go shopping, the player of your choice made a mistake. Have them pull out the number of stitches shown on the dice and move that back that many spaces. So yeah, that's fun. Oh my gosh, I'm really excited about this. I hope you guys are enjoying this and this isn't like completely boring. I just thought this was so cool. So now onto the Needlework Stash cards. Life's a Stitch. Pay $50 for needlework lessons. We've got you made a mistake. Roll the dice, pull out the number of stitches, and move back that many spaces. You lost your needle. Lose 1 turn. You completed your current project. Advance to start stitching. Collect $200. I know all of these are not going to be perfectly focused, but I'm trying to not take forever. You won the needlework contest at your local craft fair. Advance to Rhodes Diamond Beach for vacation. If not owned, you can purchase it. If owned, rental fee waived. So that's cute. Because you count, move ahead 3 spaces. That's cute. It's like inspirational, but also stitchy related. Select a player you think needs to unwind. Advance them to idle hands. Your needlework accessory sale was a huge success. Collect $25 for each needlework shop you own. So see, this is one of those cards that probably wouldn't help me that much because I don't end up with as many properties as I would want. Your project was chosen to be displayed at the State Needle Arts Show. Collect $100. Your needlework scissors were ruined. Pick a player who you think used them to scrapbook. That's from the blurb on the back. Collect $15 to replace them. You added a classroom to all your needlework shops. Pay $25 for each shop you own. One of those things that's an investment, but gotta pay for it. A new line of needlework threads was launched. Pay $25 for each needlework shop you own to purchase stock. These are really cool. Like, they really put a lot of thought into this. I wonder if they like had a stitcher on board, because I know DMC, obviously they make everything, they know a lot about it, but some of those things, like you need stitchers, you need somebody who is experienced. Be interesting to know. Restock your needlework stash. Pay $100 for supplies. Makes me think about like who they contact for all these like specialty versions. Like obviously those shows and movies, they whoever made that, but like I know there's a lot of university ones. Do they just find a graduate from the university, or do they go to like, how do they get like all the information to make it fit and make it work? I mean, I know, like I said, I know they collab with DMC, but did they like pull out a call to stitchers and ask them questions? I wonder how they came up with everything. A good friend has had her first baby. Embroider a beautiful baby blanket for her. Pay $20 to $5 for supplies. So yeah, so that was your needlework stash cards and your go shopping. Community bank? Community chest. Community chest! So it's chance and community chest. So I think needleworks community chest maybe is go shopping, and needleworks stash is chance. Maybe the other way around. I'm not really sure. So that's that one, and now the properties. So I'll show you the front and the back, I guess. Do you need to see that? Yeah, sure. And then that'll pretty much be it. So yeah, sorry, I've been playing with my hair a lot. It's like a lot longer now. So I'm always like, it feels like it's everywhere. All right, so we've got running stitch quarters, our first property, and it's a DMC pink. And then you can see the stitch on the back, which is actually cool. It's like a legit diagram of the stitch. So that's real cool. Straight Stitch Shack. Again, a DMC pink property. Okay, I don't focus on my face. Focus on the card. And then the diagram on the back. Basic stitching rent. And then it's just got a needle and floss on the back. Backstitch cabin with a red DMC 6-strand floss. And the diagram on the back. I can't, trying to see if this is focused without like freaking you out with my face in front of you again. Half stitch cottage with that red DMC 6-strand floss. And looks like the diagram on the back. I was about to say looks like half stitch, just realized this is the half stitch card. Oh brother. Cross stitch plantation with the red DMC 6-strand regular floss. And your diagram on the back. Trellis vineyards with a lavender light effects DMC. Diagram on the back. Then we've got fabric and hoop rent. And just writing on the back. French knot cottage with that lavender light effects. Lights changing suddenly. There's your diagram on the back. Colonial knot veranda. Also that lavender light effects. And your diagram on the back. And stitching rent, same diagram though. Or actually, I'd be curious to see if, oh, not the same diagram, but, oh, that's really cool. They do include stuff, so you can see it's just basically cross stitches on your basic stitching one. And then this one has beads. It looks like it has some specialty stitches, so they really took the time to make sure the piece actually has advanced stitching. I like that. I like that a lot. Now we've got buttonhole bay with a dark purple light effects. And there's your diagram. Like I've mentioned, I don't know that stitch. Velvet Cove, which is also a dark purple light effects. And there's that. That looks kind of complicated. Probably would want a video tutorial of that. So I'd have to search YouTube if I ever need to do that one. Rhodes Diamond Beach, which is also that dark purple DMC light effects. They're all DMC because it's a DMC collab. You know what I'm saying. There it is. That one doesn't seem too bad. Again, sorry, stuffy nose. Split Stitch Falls with a light green variegated 6-strand floss. And you've got your diagram. Doesn't look too bad. Okay. Sorry, I've got my phone and it's like lighting up like crazy. Blanket Stitch Brook, which is that same light DMC variegated. I keep saying DMC like this isn't all DMC. And your diagram on the back. So it's like a little mini stitching encyclopedia within the game. I really like that. Lazy Daisy River. This makes me think of the like tubing rivers. One of the popular ones near me is the Itchinatogny River, which a lot of the Gainesville peeps will know of. I know there's quite a few Gainesville stitchers that I know are around. Obviously there's tons, but anyway, North Florida, there's an Itchinatogny River, and I know they usually call them like the Lazy River, stuff like that. So Lazy Daisy River, I like that connection there, is my point. Same, that light variegated green. And you've got your stitch on the back, which is making a daisy. which you don't need to make lazy daisy stitches just to make flowers, but it is a common use for them. Then you've got embroidery rent, and you've got 2 of these, so I think they're throughout the board though. Most of these are in the order going around the board, but I doubt these are 2 right next to each other. There's an embroidered piece on there. And the back is just cotton or floss and thread. And a second one, embroidery rent and floss and thread on the back. Chain Terrace is now a darker variegated green. And you've got your diagram back there. Satin Stitch Gardens with that dark variegated green and the diagram. Needle and thread rent, and then just writing on the back. Stem Stitch Lodge is the last of that green, dark green variegated thread, and your diagram on the back. And our last few properties, Continental Manor, which is a bright light blue pearl cotton. And there's the diagram. I think it's Continental half stitches then. Jacquard Estates. And your diagram. Never even heard of that one. Herringbone Castle. I have heard of herringbones. And your diagram. This is much easier than trying to show you the board and noticing if it's focused or not, which I can't because my face is being covered up. So it means I can't see what's on the camera, and I'm like trying to figure it out. Needlepoint rent. I have been so curious to pick up one of those smaller needlepoint kits just to give it a go. I don't know if I'm going to do that because I have so many plans already. And technically I can just do some half stitches in here, see how I feel about it, but I know like with the mesh and all of that, it's a little different. Maybe one day, I don't know. There's some that seem to be like a staple in my local Michaels, and I always see them there. So until I notice any like reduction, which I hope they don't do any more reduction of the cross stitch section because they've done enough already. Maybe one day I'll just pick one of those up just to give it a try and see what it's like. You know. Florentine Villa, dark blue pearl cotton, and there's the stitch diagram there. And last but not least, Renaissance Palace, and your diagram on the back. Isn't that awesome? So that is Stitchopoly, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this if you stuck around. I know it's a little long towards the end here, but I really wanted to show you all the parts of it because I just really, I mean, I got excited when I saw the box. I was like, no way. Like, I know there's 1,000,001 Monopoly versions out there, but just the fact that there is a Stitchy related one makes me happy, which I just mentioned, like reduction in sizes of the sections in stores, which is evident, and obviously depending where you live it might be more or less so, but this makes me happy. Like, there's enough of us out there that they find this is, now granted it was on clearance at the store, but that's really at the store. Like, if you look this up online, it's pretty much full price still, and I didn't even would think that this would be at a store, so I just thought it was really cool. Plus my AC Moore in general has been clearancing the heck out of most of their stitch stuff except for flosses. They're still holding on with the flosses. They've got a decent fabric selection, which is all like DMC and Charles Crafts fabrics, but it's still pretty decent. Like, they have all the options that they DMC offers, even some of their marbled Aida, which I didn't even know existed. It's not a lot of choice, but it's like 4 or 5 choices of the marbled Aida. They've got the Monaco, which is funny because it says Monaco Even Weave and Lugana on the label, but from what I saw on the website, it is Monaco. They do have a couple linens available. They don't have every single linen, but they have some of it. And then they do have a lot of the Aida that's available, which Surprisingly, there's a lot of colors available of the DMC Ada. They've got the full DMC flosses. They've even got the light effects, the satin, and the variegated. Not everything in the satin, but they do have all the variegated, and they have all the light effects, which I'm pretty much going to collect. I know they're not really that great, but I have enough of them already that I might as well finish out the set and just use them whenever I need just a little sparkle, and I don't mind using it and getting it done. I mean, it's not the best to use now that I've experienced other metallics, but it's not completely horrible. I can use it. It's fine. It's affordable and accessible, so why not, you know? On bigger projects though, like Mirabilis and such, I probably will go with the Kreinik or Petite Treasure Braid, because I want those projects to not give me a headache and look nice. Not that the DMC light effect doesn't, but the others are just easier to work with, so it'll go a lot quicker. But yeah, so I know, like I said, it was on clearance, but it's still cool that this exists at all. I mean, I know some of now I look like I'm chopping my head off. Some of the more popular ones are some of the university ones and some of the movie ones, and of course just the deluxe version of Monopoly. But this was cool. I have not played it. I just opened it for the first time. I probably will ask my husband to play with me, but I probably won't play that much just because Monopoly in general is not my thing. But I like it. I like how much thought went into it. I like how much it relates. I know it's not just a cross stitch one, it's just needlework in general. But this was cool. And it was a fun little thing to open up on my Stitchaversary. I'm so glad to have found a hobby that I just know I'm going to stick with. I have other hobbies. I still do them. I still enjoy them. But this is definitely my main hobby. I've stuck with me for a year. I have no plans of slowing down. I don't see myself. I mean, all the other hobbies that I've had, I'd say like really hardcore having done them, maybe 3, 4, up to 5 months, and then I kind of slow down. I do them here and there, and I still do. I enjoy coloring and sketching. I enjoy working with lanyard, gimp, boondoggle, plastic lace. A lot of people have so many names for that. Scooby-Doo even. But I haven't done that in a while. I do like to scrapbook, but my mom has all the stuff. And I'm not going to buy a whole thing of it, at least not now, maybe one day. But this hobby is not going to go anywhere. And I know I'm going to be stitching pretty much the rest of my life. So I'm excited, and I'm glad to share something fun on my first Stitchaversary. And I look forward to many more years of sharing with you guys and talking and learning and getting to know people. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Again, a happy Valentine's Day if you celebrate it. Happy Sunday if you don't, or you just don't care. Keep in mind it's all about love. Not about being with a special, significant other necessarily. A best friend, a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, yourself. Friendship and love, that's what it's about. Love for stitching, whatever it is. If not, if you really don't, or just like, no, Valentine's Day, go away. Happy Sunday. Have a great weekend. If you're in the UK, have a great day. Bye.